Some of the greatest movie heroes of all time are keeping secrets, murder, fantasy worlds, hidden backstories. The beloved films may actually be a lot darker than you realize, thanks to some crazy fan theories that involve a completely different look at some of these popular characters. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new content. Can you guess which movie is represented by these emoji? Stay tuned at the end to find out. The Beast's secret child. In Beauty and the Beast is portrayed as a misunderstood prince that is cursed for a poor decision that he made. Never mind the fact that he kidnaps a girl and her father, the flawed character clearly learns from his mistake in the movie, and even sacrifices himself to help defeat Gaston and invading citizens of Belle's village. By the end of the film, many people assume that he has turned his life around for the better, but what if Beast was hiding an even darker secret that he never revealed to Belle?
It has to be something very special, something that sparks her interest. Wait a minute.
Fans of the animated film and its sequel have created a crazy theory that's based around the fact that the Beast has a secret child. The child isn't hidden anywhere either. It's actually the little cup named Chip. Mrs. Potts is clearly too old to have had Chip, and the youngster bears an uncanny resemblance to the Beast when he's changed to a real boy. In Belle's Magical Christmas, Chip even wears similar clothes to the Beast. The Beast never recognizes Chip as his son, forcing Mrs. Potts to raise the poor boy. At least he gets to live in the castle, but he never actually finds out the truth about who his real father is.
Is this the end?
Of course not. It's only the beginning.
Danny drowned Sandy. Summer lovin' may have happened so fast, but summer murders could have happened even faster. In the opening scenes of Grease, we see the final days of the whirlwind romance between high school students Danny and Sandy. The rest of the film showcases a musical adventure where Sandy journeys to Danny's high school. They fall in love and then drive away together as the sun sets. Many people have speculated that Sandy actually died during that summer vacation, and the whole film showcases her final journey to heaven as she dies on the beach. Not only was Sandy dead the whole time, but she may have actually been murdered by Danny himself. A line in Summer Nights states that Sandy nearly drowned and Danny saved her.
I saved her life. She nearly drowned.
If the theory about Sandy's death were true, then Danny was the one who caused her to drown. This all makes sense as well. Danny was in a gang known as the T-Birds, and he couldn't let his little romantic vacation wreck his reputation. This led to a quick fling, a drowning, and plenty of evidence cover-up. Sandy then goes through this crazy musical dream as she drifts away in the ocean and eventually dies. Forget Summer Nights, it's more like summertime sadness. The Lion Pack dishonors Nala. The Lion King is filled with murder, betrayal, and some heart-wrenching moments. All of this occurs at the hands of Scar, who was truly an evil lion among the others. When Scar goes to take over Pride Rock and brings his hyenas with him, none of the other lions know that he's the one who murdered Mufasa and forced Simba to run away from his family. It only gets worse for the remaining lions as Scar unleashes his control and power. He's not the only monster in the family though. Simba's mother, Sarabi, and Nala's mother, Serafina, are responsible for Nala leaving their family and venturing off in the wild. During a deleted scene from the animation, Scar confronts a grown-up Nala, hits on her, and sings to her about having little Scar babies. The song, entitled The Madness of King Scar, was featured in the Broadway version of the show. Instead of letting Scar force himself on Nala, Nala runs away from her family. A family of lions that did not defend her and stand up to these crazy threats from Scar. Luckily, Nala runs into Simba in the jungle, but things could have easily went a whole other route, with the older family members basically turning a blind eye to Scar's devious ways. Mrs. Doubtfire. Divorce is hard, but the filmmakers wanted us to see the sympathetic side to Robin Williams' character in Mrs. Doubtfire. The comedy and zaniness of the movie actually overshadows how creepy and demonic the character really is.
Hello! Ah!
Turning into an irresponsible alcoholic with no job, it doesn't take trailer recuts to showcase how crazy the character gets to see and control his kids. Instead of following simple protocol and getting a job, he decides to dress like a woman and stalk his family. It only gets worse from there, when his ex-wife decides to date a new man played by Pierce Brosnan. Knowing that the man is allergic to peppers, he adds a ton of powder to his dinner meal. If you're wondering, then yes, this is attempted murder. His intention could have only been to kill off the new man in his children's life. Before the poor guy croaks, a brief glimpse of sanity helps reverse course, and he's eventually saved by the murderer. This is psychological manipulation at its finest. Not only did he try to murder the poor sap, but he now comes off looking like a hero after saving him. Well played, Mrs. Doubtfire, you crazy maniac.
I made my family disappear.
Kevin from Home Alone. Kevin McAllister had a couple of rough Christmases in the 1990s. During 2 different vacations, he encountered an evil group of robbers looking to make some quick cash. Seeing how immoral they were, Kevin did not decide to call the police. Instead, he devised some devilish traps to torture the criminals before they were finally handcuffed and arrested. Kevin may have enjoyed the torture too much. Several theories have floated around the internet speculating that the Home Alone films actually serve as a precursor to the horror series Saw. Once you break down the details, it actually makes a little sense. The motives behind Jigsaw's actions are pretty simple. He tortures people that have made mistakes and poor decisions so that they learn the errors of their ways. Sound familiar? That's right, Kevin likely replaced a few flying paint buckets with some power drills, spinning saws, and mazes of pure torture. Both characters have the right heart and motives, but they go through the stories in all the wrong ways. This leads to some very questionable actions. Kevin clearly loved his traps so much that he decided to let them evolve as he grew older. Marv and Harry got off easy compared to some of the others. Angelica's crazy childhood. One of the craziest theories to ever come from the world of Nickelodeon involves the TV show and movie franchise Rugrats. The babies went on a ton of fun adventures, but according to one dark and twisted theory, none of it was real, and it was all made up in Angelica's head. All of the babies in the show actually suffered horrible deaths, and unable to cope with the madness, Angelica imagines them in her mind as talking and playing babies. As for the parents themselves, they may be going through crazy grief, but they're the true monsters for allowing Angelica to believe that they're all still alive. According to this theory, Chucky died at the same time as his mother, and Chaz is nervous all the time because of it. Tommy died at birth, forcing Stu into some crazy alternate reality where he tries to invent toy after toy for the son he never had. Phil and Lil were crafted in Angelica's mind, because the baby that was supposed to be born had yet got their gender determined. Angelica's father, Drew, may be the biggest monster of all, leading Angelica to not only believe that the babies are still alive, but feeding into her craziness with the fact that her mother is still alive as well. Glinda the Good Witch. Dorothy's adventures in the Land of Oz are filled with all types of mysteries and big revelations. Dorothy may be shocked to find out the truth about the actual Wizard of Oz, but maybe the small farm girl should have looked deeper into the motives of Glinda the Good Witch. By breaking down the movie, it's easy to tell that Glinda is not a good witch at all. Glinda has the ability to send Dorothy back home instantly, but she sends her on a mission that involves murder and the exposure of a wizardly fraud. It all starts out when Dorothy's house crushes one of the evil witches. Glinda has the Munchkins celebrate, sing Dorothy's praises, and then reward her with a pair of slippers off of a dead woman. Glinda then sends Dorothy out to kill off the Wicked Witch of the West in a dangerous adventure. Of course the Wicked Witch is angry. Dorothy is wearing her dead sister's shoes. Glinda is truly the devil disguised as a supposedly good witch. Of course, naive little Dorothy sings and skips her way down the yellow brick road without questioning Glinda or her original motives to murder every other witch in the land. Wall-E and the Cannibals. If you're looking for a bleak, futuristic view of planet Earth, then look no further than the film Wall-E. As if the robot adventure story wasn't sad enough, a crazy fan theory makes the humans look even worse. While living on the giant space station after destroying Earth, the humans are only seen consuming a liquid substance from large cups. With no plant life or ability to create food, this has drawn people to one conclusion. All of the adults in Wall-E are cannibalistic monsters that feed off the young and elderly. Some of the film scenes can help confirm this. One significant part includes the fact that besides some very young toddlers, no elderly, teenagers, or children are seen in the film. This is likely because their bodies are being harvested and turned into the liquid food source that the humans consume on a daily basis. It can also explain why the humans gain weight at a rapid pace and are all extremely heavy set. Maybe the whole film is actually an unofficial sequel to Soylent Green after all. Thankfully, Wall-E's plant discovery may have been the only thing that stops the cannibalistic nature and allows the society to thrive again without consuming human skin. Ooh. Peter Pan, the Murderer. Living in Neverland is like a never-ending adventure. You're sure to find Peter Pan there, flying around, hunting pirates, and building some of the coolest tree houses around. While Peter Pan may come off as a hero, many fans love to point out passages from the original novel that showcases what a monster the character actually is. Peter Pan is obsessed with staying a child. Not only does he want to stay young and live free, but he despises adults and anyone around him who ends up growing older. The collection of lost boys that Pan hangs around with was clearly larger in past times, but some of them decided to move on and grow older. Did Peter simply let them go on their merry way? Nope, he murdered them. Or as the book not so subtly put it, he thinned them out. Yikes. You can only imagine how Peter decided to off these aging Lost Boys. He could have used his sword, maybe a little fairy dust to fly them high and drop them down. Maybe he fed them to the crazy mermaids looking for their next meal. No matter what he did, maybe now you'll have some sympathy for Captain Hook the next time Peter Pan causes some trouble.
Hey, Doc, are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Doc from Back to the Future. Doc may have perfected his time machine invention in Back to the Future, but he wasn't always so brilliant. For years and years, Doc was a failure, and a self-admitted one. Many fans speculate that Doc never intended to travel back in time. He actually was trying to kill himself if the invention didn't work. Not only that, but Marty McFly would have been his innocent victim along the way. Not only was Doc selfish with his intentions, but he dealt with some pretty bad people to get the technology for his vehicle. He traded nuclear power for bomb-building products and seemed to be perfectly fine with that.
This is heavy duty, Doc.
On top of all that, Doc travels through history stealing all types of money. He keeps money from all different years in a special briefcase that was clearly gathered by suspicious methods. Doc is also so sick in the head that he has to travel back to the Old West to find true love instead of finding someone in the current era that he lives in. This poor lady could have had a very different future, but Doc selfishly altered her family tree and made dozens of people disappear from history. Doc is basically a time-traveling pirate. This makes Biff look like a saint compared to him. Well, there you have it. What movie character do you think was the biggest monster? What theory doesn't make any sense? Are there any that we missed? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. The answer to our emoji quiz is